We have been waiting years for this. Penguin CJP here, and I know. Where have I been? What's going on with the other videos? Don't worry, what ifs are in the works. Chapter 2 for the auto-described master mix is in the works. Just taking a while, but don't worry, in the meantime, I wanted to talk about this. The, issue 0 of the Udon Mega Man comic. So, for those who can't tell, I kind of love the Mega Man comics. In my What Ifs, which for those who are new, hi, I'm Penguin CJP, I make Mega Man What If videos, primarily, some other stuff, but Mega Man What If videos are kind of what's the big thing on the channel, and, they are heavily inspired by these Mega Man comics, mainly Archie and Mega Mix / Gigamix / Master Mix. Dreamwave. Dreamwave's just kind of there. But, yeah, I have been waiting so long for a new Mega Man comic to finally happen. And would you look at that, it happened. So this is issue 0, which came out for Free Comic Book Day. So let's just do a quick look here at the cover, and I mean the back is just the cover, but it does say that it was drawn by Jeffrey Chamba, or Chamba, I apologize if I mispronounced that, Cruz. And is a very nice cover. You can tell that this is Mega Man 11 design here. We've got Beat here and a lot of various Robot Masters, which, funnily enough, the only Robot Masters on this cover that actually appear in the book are these 3 here: Skull Man, Cold Man, and Wind Man. So, yeah, I guess I should go into what this comic is actually about. So, this comic is a sort of continuation of the game timeline from Mega Man 11. It's a bit weird, I'll go into that, but it's not a sort of reimagining or retelling of the entire classic story like Archie and Megamix are. But this comic starts during the events of Mega Man 11 at the Boing Boing Amusement Park, which is Bounce Man's stage. So that's really cool. And we find out that Skull Man, Cold Man, and Wind Man actually have jobs there. I'm not exactly sure how or why. Mainly Skull Man. Like why is he there? I mean, at least with Wind Man, you know, like he was made for combat, but you know, he's a good robot originally, but Skull Man was made to kill Mega Man, so I don't know why he's even there. He doesn't even really like working there, from what we know. But essentially, they're working the various food stalls, though, like I said, Skull Man doesn't actually really do anything. He kind of like tries to make the most diabolical food he can, which, okay, that's one way to pass the time, I suppose. But at the end of their work day, after serving all of the humans, which, that is one thing I just want to note, there are a lot of humans in this comic, which is great. They don't show humans a lot, unless it's the big ones, like Dr. Light, Wily, and Cossack, and Kalinka. But none of them are in this book, except for Wily. There is a reference to Wily in this book, just a visual reference. There are not any actual moments where he appears. But yeah, just seeing like human civilians, which is nice. It is always nice to see that in the classic stories, and really any Mega Man story in general, just because it kind of shows you, you know, that there are stakes. Mega Man is saving people, so that is nice. But essentially, these 3 kind of recount their previous fights with Mega Man. Now, Wind Man's flashback is essentially what I would imagine is going on during the events of Mega Man 6, because when he confronts Mega Man, it's clear that's their first time meeting, because he essentially is like, so I've heard that you're the strongest robot. I can't see why. So they get into this fight. There's a lot of banter, mainly coming from Windman's side, until Windman accidentally gets a bowl of noodles thrown into his face because of his fans. And that blinds him enough for Mega Man to finish the fight. Then with Cold Man's story, I honestly have no idea when this is supposed to appear. It's not during Mega Man and Base, because Cold Man is not working for King or really trying to do anything malicious. He was at the zoo, and he saw that there was construction being done at the zoo, but the penguin exhibit, which was what was getting construction done, he thought it was too small, so he was going to freeze over the entire zoo so that the penguins could have the whole zoo to live in. And of course, Mega Man had to stop him, because you can't do that. And that one was very goofy. They portray Cold Man as a very goofy and oblivious sort of character. Like they said at the very beginning, like for each of these food stalls, they do like 5-star reviews for each of their stalls. And Cold Man's was 3 out of 5, because while his shaved ice is really good, there's been times where he's just eaten it when he finished making it. So yeah, he's a very oblivious character, and pretty much when he's fighting Mega Man and Mega Man's destroying his smaller robots, he gets completely distracted, and then they go get food together, and it's really goofy. So yeah, I don't know when that's supposed to happen. Like, Rock was already suited up as Mega Man, so I don't know if it's supposed to be sometime after Mega Man and Base or what. But then we get the Skullman's story. Now, again, I have no idea when this is supposed to take place in the timeline, because it's not during the events of Mega Man 4. During Roll's birthday, at some point at one of Roll's birthday parties, Skullman just busted in with his Skeleton Joes and kidnapped her. So Mega Man tries to fight, and, well, he actually gets beaten down pretty bad. It looks like Skullman is actually going to win, while Roll is tied up in the air watching, but she manages to free herself. And when Skullman's going on his big monologue about how Mega Man is a useless big brother because he brings all of this carnage and sorrow to his family, and that he should just stop and he'll put an end to him, Roll smacks him in the face with one of the arms from the Skeleton Joes that Mega Man was able to take out, and basically called Skullman an idiot. And then Mega Man and Roll just kind of walk home, forgetting Skullman. So, again, it was a very funny story, a very fun story. Yeah, the timeline placement, I don't know. I have no idea. Did Wily tell Skullman to kidnap Roll? Because, again, he's never in this book. They never bring him up, so I don't know. But when it cuts back to the present, after all of their stories are finished, they then see something flying by, crashing into one of the stalls, and it's Mega Man. And it is then revealed that he is fighting Bounce Man, where Windman, Skullman, and Coldman all team up in order to help Mega Man, because while Mega Man did beat them before, he did help them change their lives for the better to get these jobs. So what did I actually think? Well, we did hear from interviews regarding this story that the story in issue 0 is not going to be indicative of the rest of the comic, which the actual main comic is called Mega Man Timelines. So this issue was fairly lighthearted, very goofy overall, nothing really serious, which, again, they said that the actual timeline issues are not going to have this light tone. They're going to be a bit more serious. But For what it is, I actually really liked it. Now again, the timeline is weird because this takes place during Mega Man 11, which implies that this is canon to the classic timeline, or at the very least that the classic timeline is canon to this. So, what the heck? Like, when do their stories take place? I wanna know, because it doesn't really make much sense. But it is a very fun book. It is very fun. It was nice to see all the references, like Boing Boing Amusement Park, getting to actually see one of the stages in Mega Man 11 as an actual location. That was cool. And seeing the humans, as I mentioned, is very cool. Very nice. I also thought the dialogue was pretty good. It was pretty jokey. One of my other friends said that it kind of reminded them of Fully Charged, which I do agree. The writing style is very similar to Fully Charged, which I know some Mega Man fans aren't a fan of Fully Charged. I am. I actually like Fully Charged a good bit, but I don't really want the classic series to just be a clone of Fully Charged. It is not nearly as quippy and jokey as Fully Charged, but there were definitely some dialogue moments, especially during Windman's flashback, that did really remind me of it with all the puns and back talk. But yeah, overall, I think that this was a very fun story, though it did lack a lot of Mega Man, a lot of rock. Unlike Archie, Megamix, Gigamix, Master Mix, and even Dreamwave, we don't get to see who Rock actually is here. Not fully, anyway. We do get to see hints, obviously, like when he's fighting Windman and he gets knocked into some tables that some humans are sitting at, and they're telling Mega Man, please get back up, you can do this. He gets up and he makes sure to give them a thumbs up. So, that already tells us a good bit about Mega Man as a character. And then, when he's fighting Cold Man and he has to destroy some of the other robots, you can see that he's very upset about it. He doesn't want to have to fight. Again, very crucial details for Mega Man as a character. So that's very nice. And at the very end, when the trio here help him with fighting Bounce Man, he looks happy. Just sprinkling bits of Rock's character in here. And that's fine. That is good. That is honestly all they needed to do for an issue 0. And for those who are wondering, why am I not being a bit more annoyed that this Mega Man book had barely anything to do with Mega Man? It's because it's issue 0. It's the free comic book day issue. This is not issue 1. I will reserve full judgment on what I think about this comic series as a whole when issue 1 is actually out. It is being written by the same person. So we can see here a Tavis Maiden. So I'm assuming the actual character interactions will be fairly similar. But I will reserve judgment for that until issue 1 is actually out. Now, the one last thing. Just a brief look at some of the art. This art is beautiful. It is very different from any previous art styles that have been used in the comics. It is very anime, as it should be. But you can tell that the eyes are a lot bigger for the most part, particularly on the human characters like Mega Man, like Roll here. While the Robot Masters have somewhat smaller eyes, but it is a very nice sort of art style. I think it is very fitting. It can look really cool when it needs to be. Look at this shot of Bounce Man. Bounce Man does not need to look this cool, but they did. They did make him look that cool. And yeah, I just think the overall presentation of this book is top notch. And I would imagine that for the rest of these, it would be pretty good. For those who don't know how the series is working, it appears they are doing one comic per each era of the robot timeline here, with different writers and different artists for each one. I know there's been some drama about that, particularly with the ZX here. Again, I'm going to reserve judgment until the actual comics are out. I don't want to say anything preemptively just because of first impressions on not even the actual book, just promo images. But yeah, I think the art for issue 0, very nice, very colorful, and very fitting for the franchise. So, I'm excited, and I hope that you are as well. This was a joy. It is just nice to be able to have an actual Mega Man comic in my hands. A new one. It's no secret that Mega Man has been a very dry franchise as of late. We have not been getting a lot. We've been getting some figures, some model kits, which if I do manage to get any of those, expect videos on those as well, because I love model kits. And I really, really want to build some of those, maybe make some reviews of those at some point. But it just feels nice that now, every month, we get a new Mega Man comic that we can look at, talk about. And it's clear, at least from issue 0 here, that there's a lot of love put into these, a lot of care, a lot of detail. And it's just great. If you are able to pick this up, definitely do it. Yeah, be on the lookout for the rest of Mega Man Timelines, because if it's anything like issue 0, it's going to be a joy to read through. And that is it for the video. So, until next time, this is Penguin CJP, signing out.